Hi everyone, it's Kevin from my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, I'll be doing my round 18 tips and previews and go over my round 17 tips as well. If you are returning Kevin Magpies, welcome, like, comment, share. If you're new to the channel, watch this for the first time, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now let's have a look at last week's tips. Now I did do reasonably okay out of them. I did do pretty good, except for there's a few tips I got wrong. So I picked the Pirates to get the job done against the Bombers. I picked the Bulldogs and the Hawks, as well as picking the Swans. So I got 4 wrong. I ended up picking Brisbane correctly. I ended up picking Melbourne correctly, Fremantle correctly, the Giants correctly, and North Melbourne correctly as well. So yeah, I always thought that was a really good tip as well. But now let's jump straight into Friday night's game. Now Collingwood versus Geelong on Friday night. MCG. Last time these two sides met was obviously round 22 of 2023 when Collingwood won by 8 points with the Jeremy Cameron. 2 goals from out of bounds that he kicked. One was marked, the other one was a handball that was out of bounds as well. Even though he played well on that particular night. Jeremy Howe is out of Friday night's game. Also, Jamie Elliott is back as well. So you lose 2, but you get 1 back. Hopefully, Ned Long does play. I think it would be the battle. I think it will be the battle of the midfield. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to expect from either team. I do think Collingwood's midfield will be far better. And this is the 2010 Premiership reunion as well. Hopefully we'll be there in attendance. And then if not, I'll stream the game as well. Got number 35 on the back of my Guernsey as well. So I'm going to be supporting very hard with for my boys in this. I'm going to say Collingwood by 15 points purely based on... Yes, our form hasn't been that great. But Geelong have won 3, also lost 2. We have won 2 and lost 3. So we desperately need a win. This is purely based on, well, Geelong got their winning streak going with Essendon and the Hawks obviously in Geelong, but at the MCG it's going to be a tougher ask as well. Now, Hawthorn versus the Dockers on Saturday. Now, we are playing the Hawks next week as well, so it'll be interesting to see what does happen out of this game in particular. I will definitely keep an eye on it, and also I'll be at the VFL, funny enough, for this round, for Saturday's game as well. So I think with the Hawks, the midfield is showing really good signs. Yeah, they got beaten up by the Cats at home and not using the corridor as well as what they would have liked. But I think because it's in Tasmania and the Dockers have been playing great football, you know, it's going to be for an interesting game as well. The Hawks have only won 4 and lost 1 against the Cats, while the Dockers have won 4 out of the last 5 games as well. And the only defeat they've had was the Bulldogs game. They dominated these. They beat the Suns. They beat the Bombers by a point. And obviously they smacked the Tigers as well. Well, with the Hawks, they had a 61-point win against the Eagles. Lost 110-59 against the Cats. 97-48 win, 4-9 win against Tigers. And then the one by kick against Giants. And also they won by 27 points against the Adelaide Crows. So, I think the last time these two sides met, I think was at the MCG as well, and the Dockers got the job done by 37 points. But I don't think we've seen too many games that's been played in Tasmania, except for round 17, 2021. Look, I think even though Fremantle have shown dominance against the Hawks in these particular matters, winning 5 of the last 5, I think the Hawks will win, and I say they'll win by 15 points. So I definitely do think it'll be close. I know I said in Scripps stream that was probably a little bit different. and I probably can't remember who the margin of the tips, so I do know who I'm going to tip. But it is going to be an interesting game as well. Sydney versus North Melbourne at the SCG, a 1:45 game, and to be honest, these two teams, North Melbourne have been playing very impressive football. Well, the Swans, they've lost 2 in a row, but I think you expect them to bounce back. They've won 3 of the last 2, the Swans. They also lost by a point to Dockers and then 2 points against the Saints. But they've beaten the Cats by 30, beaten the Crows by 42, and then beaten the Giants by 27 points. Well, North Melbourne, they lost by 9 points against the Eagles. They won by 9 points against the Eagles. Lost to us by a point. Lost to Melbourne by 3 points. Lost to the Bulldogs by 17 points and defeated the Suns by 4 points as well. And 2 games were at Marvel Stadium. 3 games were at Marvel Stadium. One was at Optus and the other one was at the MCG as well. I think the Swans midfield might be too good. I think the Swans by 15 points. I think when you look at this game, it should be a cracking. And I definitely do feel like this could be the game where it might be a 25-point win or a 15-point win. But definitely will be interesting to see what does come out of it as well. 4:35, a twilight game between the Dogs and the Blues now. These two teams, funny enough that this hasn't been probably a great, ideal preparation as well. Both teams are coming off good form. We know that they lost to the Power at home, away. They defeated North by 17 points, the Doggies. They smashed the Dockers as well. They lost to the Lions by 43 points, and that was at Marvel. And then they defeated us by 18 points at Marvel Stadium when it was our home game. Well, the Blues, they won by 16 points against the Power, won by 26 points against the Bombers, and 63-point win against the Cats at the G. And they defeated the Tigers by 61 points, and then they lost by 12 points against the Giants at home. But having said that too, I think this will be an interesting game. I think Bulldogs midfield will be too good. I think the Dogs will respond and really make it interesting for them. Having said that too, the form is everything to these two teams. And I think as well, and I'm looking at the stats, the average points against is 86.2 to 80.1. So very much, they're very good defensively. But offensively, the Bulldogs are averaging 91.9 and 100.1 points for the Blues. But they are playing very good football. These two sides should be an interesting contest. You think as well the midfield that the Dogs do have. I'm going to back in the Dogs to win by 25 points. I really think that this should be a cracking game as well. Now, the Crows versus the Saints at the Adelaide Oval. Now, these two teams, unbelievable form. The Saints had a very good win, and they've won 3 of the last 5. For the Crows have only won 1 of the last 5. Disappointing. They lost by 11 points against the Lions. They won by 16 points against the Giants. Lost by 42 points against the Swans. 8 points to the Tigers. Then that was at home, and they also lost by 27 points as well. Well, the Saints, they won by 14 points against the Eagles. Then they won by 3 points against the Giants, lost by 20 points against the Lions, lost by 2 points against Power. Finally, again, the close wins by 2 points against the Swans. But having said that, last time these two sides met was round 9, 2023. And Adelaide got the job done. But I do think this is an interesting game as well. I think St Kilda can potentially win. Last time that St Kilda did win was round 10, 2022, when they won by 21 points. Don't forget as well, they've had a few good games on top of it. The Saints have probably won 2 of the last 4 games at the Adelaide Oval, so it's 2-2. in that aspect. I'm going to say the Saints by 7 points. I think as well it hurts that Rankin's not playing, otherwise I would have favoured the Crows. But I think the Saints by 7 points, I think that would be the margin that I would say as well. Then you got the D's versus the Bombers at the MCG now. There's no Max Gawn for this. He's going to miss 3 weeks with an ankle injury. I think this is going to be a very interesting contest. We know that Essendon's favourites, and I'm going to agree with that because Essendon, they showed my team how to win. They simply did, and they were better on the day compared to us. Having said that too, they've won 2, Essendon lost 3. I mean the same for the line, for the D's as well. So I think because they did smash the Eagles pretty convincingly, but they did lose by 5 points against the Lions, won by 3 points against North Melbourne, lost by 22 points or 38 points against Collingwood, and then they got smacked by the Dockers by 92 points. Well, for Essendon, defeat us by 12 points, lost by 45, won by 30, lost by 26, and they also lost by 11 points as well. Having said that, this was the game from us to see where they're at. I'm going to say the Bombers by 25 points. I think they'll be far too good in this contest to upset the D's. Now, the Gold Coast Suns versus the Power at People's First Stadium up in the Gold Coast. I think this should be a pretty good contest. We know that the Gold Coast Suns have won 2 and lost 3. And same thing for the Power as well. They're not in great form. But having said that too, Gold Coast like to play well away from home. Like, perform well, win at home. And they'll perform poorly away from home as well. Now, they did defeat the Bombers by 11 points. Lost the Saints by 3 points. Lost by 20 points against the Dockers. Won against my team by 11 points. And then lost to North Melbourne by 4. I'm going to say a 17-point win to the Suns here. I think they'll be too good at home. Tigers versus the Giants up at the MCG. Sunday, 3:20 time slot. Done and dusted. Now, we all know what to expect out of these 2 teams now. These 2 teams have played in grand finals, played in prelim finals as well. The Giants have won 2 out of the last 5. Well, the Tigers have won 1 of the last 5 as well. So, having said that, I'm more leaning towards the Giants. I think they'll win by 30 points. I think their midfield and their forward line will be far too good for the Tigers' defence. And the Eagles versus the Lions up at Optus Stadium. This is the matchup where we might see something happen out of this. I still think the Brisbane Lions by 30 points. I think they'll be too good in the end. And I think that we might see Brisbane come out and show something. I know it might be dangerous because Adam Simpson got the sacked. And seeing the vision on what Adam Simpson said to Harley Reid, and Harley Reid sort of smiling about it. And it's definitely not a good look. We know he's not coaching this weekend. So the Eagles might actually come out and show something. But having said that as well, I think the Lions will be too good as well. Just want to pay my respects to Josh Carmichael on a wonderful career, having to retire with a medical emergency as well. Not medical emergency, but with concussion protocols that he's been suffering as well. So I want to say to the bottom of my heart, thank you. You know, you definitely gave it your all. And you will never forget you. And I did re-quote the tweets on Twitter as well about that. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, you know, we love you. We won't forget you. You know, thank you for everything. We cherish it as a fan base. But that will do the end of the video. Don't forget to drop a like as well as dropping the sub. Till next time, bye for now.